Hey, what's going on, my YouTubers? Slick Nick here. It is about 4:51 p.m. on Monday, July 29th, 2019. I'm using my desktop PC for this stream, so I'm just kind of giving it a try here. Well, apparently my MacBook Pro is in the shop right now. Well, it's at the Apple facilities because there's been a recall on the battery. So thankfully the battery is getting replaced. And I've had the computer for almost 4 years and still runs great. So it's getting a new battery at no cost. Well, anyway, I wasn't gonna talk about that, but anyways, that's just something to get a kickstart. It's a little hot here. I'm in an upstairs unit. Air conditioning's in the living room, and apparently the bedroom doesn't have it, so I got a fan going to try and bring air in here. So, anyways, I created a Patreon account, so now I'm officially on Patreon, and if I'm not sure how to actually how to have it connected, but I might try to include a link or something in the description box below after the stream. I'm new to Patreon, so just getting started on it. And also this last week, I haven't driven as much. Probably I'd say about about a week and a half ago, I did another Lyft rental. I decided to go back to Lyft to do on the rental program with FlexDrive and rented a car, got the rides I need for the weekend. Things were all going well until 2 Fridays ago. I had one entitled passenger. You heard me, entitled rider. And I picked up a group of girls from downtown LA, and they were drunk as hell. They were just out of it. And then during the trip, they started to get a little out of hand. And for privacy reasons, I do have dash cam footage of it, but I'm not going to divulge it, for privacy reasons since we got this resolved. So anyways, they were throwing me off. I've been missing turns. Well, part of it is I couldn't get on the freeway, which would have gotten us there faster to the destination because they were doing construction on the on-ramps. This was getting onto the 110 from downtown LA. So I had to end up going the back roads. And then, first of all, I didn't have my radio turned on. I had it off because I didn't feel like any music. And they wanted to put on a station I didn't want to listen to. And they were even playing music through their phone. And passengers do not have any right to do that. If they have headphones, yes, it's fine. But apparently playing music in the back of somebody's car without their permission is not acceptable. And then they said because they're the paying customer, they could do whatever they want, but you know what? That is totally false. Passengers, just because they're paying for a ride, that doesn't give them rights to do whatever the hell they want. There are rules that they have to follow, just like drivers do. So things were getting out of line with them. I couldn't take it anymore, so I pulled into a little parking lot next to a liquor store to have them get out because I couldn't stand it anymore. And I didn't wait long enough, but after a few seconds when they wouldn't get out, I blasted my music so loud, and was shaking the car like this, trying to tell them out, out, out. And then one in the front tried to turn the radio down. Our hands collided together, but then I went ahead and turned it up again. They finally got out, and they were saying, oh, they're going to call the police. They called me a racist and called me a Trump supporter. Blech. So since I ended the trip, I got out of the lot just in time. Then I went down the street to another lot, and I started making a report to Lyft as to what happened. And apparently they were trying to reach out to me through the app, the riders. I thought they were trying to harass me. So apparently when I picked up another rider after I submitted a report by email, one of them said, when I was picking up a rider, one of them sent me a text message saying that they left a purse in there. And then I look in the front seat, and there it was. It was a little fanny pack. And after I dropped off my next rider, it was a very short ride. And because of what happened, the bad experience I had, I was afraid they were going to try to set me up, and they sent me harassing text messages saying the police had been calling, they were looking for me, which I found out later was false. So then I went ahead and called Lyft's support line, and then I spoke to Trust and Safety, so I made sure they got my report. And then apparently my account was put on hold because I had the item. And so they told me if I wanted to take it to the police station, if I felt safer doing that, that's what I did. So I went to the downtown LA police station because the desk is open 24/7. And after waiting almost an hour because the person in front of me was taking forever and they only had one officer at the desk, we tried to reach, I told him what happened. We tried to reach out to the rider and we couldn't get a hold of her. So he recommended for me just to hold on to it and get it to the Lyft hub the next morning, which I did. And thankfully the passenger was apologized for what happened, and which was nice. So I got the item to the Lyft hub and all good. But apparently I was still on hold because apparently a week later I called Lyft to find out what the hell was going on with the holdup. And it turns out they've been so stacked up, with reports and all that, trust and safety. So after speaking to them, they said that the reason why my account was originally on hold was because the passenger sort of made a little bit of a false report, stating that I was holding on to the item intentionally. And that's 100% false because of their behavior. That was their own fault. They're responsible to make sure they have their own items, and also they need to behave themselves. And when a driver tells them to do something, like try to be entitled, they have to comply. And if the driver asks them to chill out, they have to do it. So I guess this was to get back at me, but either way, we got it resolved. They saw the emails and that I returned the item the next day and saw what my situation was. So I got turned back on. So I'm back on now. And that night I was only one ride away from getting the first rental reward tier. Just only one ride away. And then that incident screwed up my whole weekend. But I did try Getaround when I was on hold. Getaround is a car sharing service, and you can use your you can use it for Uber too. Like if it's your first time, you can get up to 12 hours for free. So that's $60 off, up to $60 off. So I tried the Getaround on the Sunday. Well, I had some other promo code that Getaround gave me to compensate me for the last time I tried them. Apparently the car wasn't available because for some odd reason, so I got compensated for those Uber rides I took. So I used that code and just rented a Toyota Camry sedan 2017, and it wasn't a bad car for Sunday. It got me through the day, and then on Wednesday I did Getaround again. They gave me a new promo code to get the 12 hours free. Since the last time I got that offer, something came up with the vehicle, so I wasn't able to use it. So I was able to use that, put it to use, and I rented a 2019 Infiniti QX60 SUV. It was a beauty. It was a 7-seater. It had all the bells and whistles on it. Like besides navigation, which I never used it, of course, but it had sensors, it had backup camera, it even had front cameras, which was really cool. And it also gave me Uber XL rides and Uber Select. So I was able to do both rides. And for the whole day, I did 14 rides total. Most of them were Uber X, but 3 of them were Uber XL, and 1 of them was Uber Select. Bring it up here on the app, and I'll show y'all. Battery's getting a little low here. There we go. Low power mode on. Okay, I'm just scrolling down to Wednesday. All right, so here it is. So here's the first ride I ever did on. This was on. See if you can see it there. A little backward there, but it's all reversed on my side. But anyway, it was on Uber Select. See Select. So that was a nice, good ride. Now, if that was on an Uber X ride, that would have been probably almost a $15 ride. But Uber Select, it felt like it was double the price because a ride like that on Uber X wouldn't be $30. But that was a pretty nice ride. And also here's my first XL ride on here. This is my most profitable one. Went from Union Station to Santa Monica on Uber XL. See the XL, and That was a pretty nice ride. Yeah, and that one I didn't even have 6 passengers. I had 3 passengers, but they had a lot of luggage. And it's a good thing they used an XL because a regular Uber X most likely would not have been able to accommodate them. So they played it safe, and that was a good ride. And I get this lately. Oh, here's another XL I ought to show you. I'll show you my third one. This was from Dodger Stadium. From Dodger Stadium to North Hollywood. This is the first. My phone's getting low here, so anyway, that was out of all the 3 XL rides, that was the first one where I had a full car of 6 people. The second XL ride earlier in the day, that was only just three guys I picked up, and they were both tall guys too. So I guess they want to get the extra room, and I don't blame them. And that was a very short ride, but it definitely paid better than having an Uber X, of course. And for the Infinity, I had to gas it up with premium gas. But before Costco in Alhambra closed, I went over there, and the gas was $3.49 a gallon for premium, which is a really good price. So I took advantage of that. And then when I returned the car, it was still sitting on the full line, so it was still fine. When I returned it by 11 o'clock that night. And I would definitely rent that car again if there's any other promotion offers I can get on Get Around. I would definitely rent that car again. It was a really nice car. I liked it. Too bad they don't have them in hybrid models. If they had a hybrid model, then I would definitely consider one for my next car in the future. Considering it would qualify for Uber XL, Uber Select, and Lyft Lux and Lyft XL too. And then on Monday, I did return the rental car I had for Lyft because my account was still on hold, so there was no point holding on to it. But next time I'll do is I will call the Trust and Safety next time if I don't hear back in 24 hours or less. Next time I'll call Trust and Safety in that situation, which is what I probably should have done in the first place, even though it could take a while to connect to them. But anyway, that was all settled, I'm glad. And I will be picking up another Lyft rental car scheduled for tomorrow, Tuesday, July 30th, at the Flex Drive again in Monrovia, because they have 2018 cars at the minimum in there, and a lot of them are pretty spacious. Like the Lyft car I had from Flex Drive, it was a Hyundai Sonata 2018. Those are very spacious cars too, and that one also had what else did that car have? That car, compared to the 16, it didn't have the HD radio setting in the radio though. But if you could check out one of my other videos, I did a review on the car. And as I mentioned on the Infinity, that was really spacious too. The third row seats also folded down, so the whole seating capacity of the vehicle, including the driver, was 7. And on Sunday, though, the original car I originally booked was a Mitsubishi Outlander, and it said it had the 7-seater option, but when I went to get the vehicle and I looked at it, it only had 6 seats, including the driver. I'm like, what kind of crap is that? And plus, the car didn't have the Uber decals, so they didn't have the proof of insurance card, but they only had the registration, so they were missing some documents. So I had to call it into Get Around, and Get Around took that car off the platform until they get that all corrected. So I ended up getting the Camry, which was another car they found that was nearby, and it was within walking distance, a little over a mile, but I went ahead and took advantage of the distance, and I walked to pick it up, and the car worked out for the day. The Infinity is the one I really liked. I picked it up in Glendale. But on these get-around cars, a lot of the owners usually put them on their Fast Track account only to read the license plate, not the transponder, which to me doesn't make any sense. I'd rather have it on my own Fast Track account, or if they provided me the transponder, because then if you use the express lanes, you can have the switch set to 2 and 3 so you don't get charged the toll. Apparently, when I use a rental car, though, I can use a regular rental, like from Hertz or Flex Drive, Fair, all that. I can just put the car on my Fast Track account, and then I'll put my transponder in that car, since that's the one I'm primarily using for rideshare. So then I would just use that, and it works out fine, but I always just have to throw it on top of the dashboard, and then whenever I don't need it, I'll take it off the dashboard. because I only have one Velcro strap for it, and it's in my regular car, and I only hang it up when I need it. If I don't need it, I put it away so it doesn't sit in the sun for too long. And what else is going on? So as soon as I pick up the rental car for Lyft, then I'll start driving on Lyft again. And hopefully no more entitled passengers. And lately on Uber, I've been ignoring pull requests. So lately I've been declining pull requests, especially because of that express pull. Because on the express pull, having the passenger go to the corner, they may not be there, or they may be somewhere where we can't pick them up, and we can't stop at the corner unless the light is red, and they don't always make it on time. But if there's a little parking lot or a gas station to pull into, I would just pull right into that. I went out running earlier today in the 85-degree heat, but it felt like 80 degrees, and I got my shirt off because I took it off after I was done running. And in a little bit, I'm going to hit the shower and then probably go catch a movie. I might go see the new Quentin Tarantino film. It's called... It's called Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That's the one I'm gonna go see. Might go see it tonight, Cinemark, in a little bit. Take a shower and then go to Denny's because I have a coupon to redeem. This is the last day to use it for 20% off. If you haven't signed up for the email offers for Denny's rewards, I highly recommend doing it. And Coco's has one too. I also recommend that too. Let's see. I'm going onto my Patreon channel right now, and share. I found a little button to the YouTube link on the on my Patreon, so I went ahead and added that in right now. Let's try share. Damn it, Carl. Trying to get this thing to work. I'll try it through Facebook, and if I get a link in there, I might as well add it to my my Facebook page, my Mr. Nick Productions Facebook page. Okay. Share on Facebook. Damn it, Carl. I just can't figure out how to copy a link to the Patreon. But anyway, once I figure that out, I will definitely use that for I would definitely use that for put that on my Facebook, on my Mr. Nick Productions page, and then I also will put it on my YouTube. But yeah, anyways, as soon as I figure out something, I'll post the link in the description box. And also, you notice on some of my other videos, if you've seen any of them, why I only put in my my referral codes only and no other steps. It's mainly for privacy reasons. So if you decide to sign up for Lyft or Uber, you can use my promo code. Then if you reach out to me, then I'll give you the information you need. I'll give you my first and last name, my phone number, and email address I use for for the platform, and then you can get that sign-on bonus. So if you decide to sign up for Lyft or Uber and use my promo code, make sure you reach out to me, and then you can I'll try posting the Facebook page to my Mr. Nick Productions page, and you can reach out to me over there, and I'll send you the information you would need personally for the referral code to work. So there's I've had some bad experiences in the past, so that's why I try to be wary about what kind of information I put out there online. Okay. Yeah, I still can't figure out how to do this, but it's not emergent, so I'll just sit back and keep going on. I'll get those links in there later. And, lately, if you've been driving near LAX, anyway, it's been driving around there on Lyft or Uber, the staging lot lately, I've noticed on Sundays especially, because of all the construction they're doing, the congestion has gotten a lot heavier, so that's why there's not as many drivers in the queue, because it takes forever to get in there and get out of there on Sunday nights, for example. So when I was seeing how long the line was just to get into the main roadway because of all the construction, I decided to hell with it and drove off. And then I ended up getting a ping at the airport. So I ended up picking up somebody anyway. And if you're not able to get into the queue and there's not a lot of drivers in there, not to worry, because if all the drivers ahead of you get dispatched, then it will start pinging to whoever the nearest driver is. So if you're not in the queue, you might be able to get a ride. That helps so you don't have to sit in the queue. Lyft, I'm not sure. Lyft might do the same thing, because I've even gotten requests to pings up at LAX at the terminals, even without being in the Lyft queue, too. And speaking of airports, on the get around cars, I haven't seen any of them with airport placards, so I probably could have tried to get a placard, but I didn't bother, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to do airport rides on Uber with the get around rental. Whereas if you rent through Fare or Hertz, you just go to one of the green light locations and they'll print you out an airport placard for the vehicle, and they'll enable the car so you can get pickups. And Lyft, when you pick up a rental too, they'll give you an airport placard too. But if you're down in Southern California, like LA, for example, if you go up to the Bay Area to drive, just a heads up that it will still match you with somebody going to like Oakland Airport or San Francisco Airport, and those two airports require a placard for those two airports. So if you get a ride request, you'll have to decline it, or unless you're able to get to a Lyft hub. And next time, if I'm going to drive around the Bay Area, I may try to go to a Lyft hub and see if they'll give me a placard. Then I can do the SFO pickups and drop-offs, and same with Oakland Airport. San Jose Airport, San Jose, technically you're supposed to have this kind of tax certificate, just kind of like a permit for San Jose. But I know for doing drop-offs, I have never had a problem, but pickups are the ones they want you to have it for. But if you're only there a few times out of the year, then it's really not a big deal. In San Francisco, of course, you do need a business license if you plan to drive in San Francisco. But if you're only going to be there like a few days out of the year, then you don't need the permit. It's only if you're going to be there at least 30 days throughout the year, that's when they want you to have the business license. But under that, you don't need it. And of course, in Los Angeles, if you're based in Los Angeles, you have to pick one. You have to go to one of the Office of Finance. I go to the one in Van Nuys. And you only have to pay a fee like once every year. And then when I keep track of my rides and my expenses, and my paychecks every week, I always document them on a spreadsheet. And I also indicate how many days during the week I did rides in the city of Los Angeles. So it's another thing about permits. Well, I think I pretty much covered the main things I was on this live stream. Well, instead of having to shoot a video, then edit it, I could just do it live right here. The main topic was just about the Lyft rental, like updating the account going on hold because of entitled passenger, and then also doing the Uber rental with GetAround. GetAround is $5 an hour, and if you never used it before, you can get up to 12 consecutive hours for free. So I recommend trying it out only if you're going to commit a whole day with it. But make sure you book a few extra hours. This way you get as much drive time as you can to make it worthwhile. And also what else did I cover? And also I wanted to mention that I had a Patreon account. I signed up for it. So I'll put the link in there if anybody wishes to contribute. Feel free. And anybody that also is looking to recruit anybody for any film gigs, you can reach out to me and then I'll see what I can do. All right, I'm going to end it right here. So if you've come across this, thanks for watching. Do your thing. Be safe out there, drivers and passengers. Use common sense. Get that money, drivers. Don't take crap from anybody, all right? And drive safely. Passengers, use good judgment when requesting your rides and plan accordingly. Because remember, poor planning on your part if you're running late is not our problem. That's your own fault. Okay. Anyways, Uber and Lyft on, or as Dustin says, or don't. Peace out.